items. Youngest and oldest generations reap personal and educational rewards.
Now, the generations in between are preparing for a more divisive conversation, though. State House reporter Kyle Madura has the story from West Charleston.
Maria is now going to introduce the podcast. These 8 students used borrowed technology to capture the wisdom of Northeast Kingdom elders, boiling down all those life experiences into digestible, shareable audio recordings.
What ideas we had that was ahead of us.
I gained a lot of wisdom and knowledge from her throughout each interview. I feel as though we did form a connection. Each time we hugged before I left, I was left with a bittersweet feeling and was reluctant to leave.
Along with gaining insight from old memories, they'll now be able to learn from new gadgets. State Lottery Director Greg Smith presented the first ever Educate and Innovate grant, 20 new iPads for Charleston Elementary. Secretary of Education Rebecca Holcomb joined him in praising the students' work and exposing what education is truly about.
Education isn't about taking tests or just doing worksheets, assignments, and textbooks. It's really about connecting with your community, understanding who you are and what you care about. It's about developing judgment so that you can go out and be a really strong, confident member of your community.
While the 8th graders' time at the small school of 118 preschool, elementary, and middle school students is coming to an end, a new conversation is set to begin within and well beyond these walls. Consolidating school boards for Vermont's 300 schools is the aim of a new bill awaiting Governor Peter Shumlin's signature, requiring the secretary, superintendents, and board members across the state to find sustainable paths forward as the cost of education balloons. A few communities considered mergers before and are poised to potentially cash in on substantial artificial drops in local property taxes if they vote to join neighboring areas by next summer.
It is very complicated, and I think in order to do justice to that conversation, it will take a fair amount of time.
Charleston is one of 12 schools in 14 districts covered by North Country Supervisory Union, the state's largest SU with 2,600 students. But each district falls well short of the state's new benchmark of 900 students per school board. The law requires areas to prove they can sustain academics and finances if they decide not to merge, and have about a half-decade to prove it can be done or be forced into a change.
The goal is just to provide as best we can for our kids with the resources we have. That said, we do know that the state has some challenges. We have challenges around declining enrollments, and some of our schools have lost 75% of their students over the last 20 years, and so their fundamental economics are just different.
I think we're predisposed to maintain local boards because they work. Certainly we will, quickly begin to analyze that and have those conversations, and I suspect in the next couple of months we'll make some decisions as to what direction we may go.
Parents, teachers, and administrators can only hope those discussions over the next 5 years will be as rewarding as those of the students they're trying to educate to the best of the state's ability. Kyle Madura, Channel 3 News, West Charleston.